Welcome back, guys, to another video. Thank you so much, guys, for clicking on today's video. Today we're going to be doing a video about NIO. Before I start the video, guys, please make sure to leave a like on the video below. Subscribe to the channel for more awesome content. Join the family, guys. Let's go on our investing journey together. So today's video is actually going to be a little bit different. Usually we're doing price predictions, we're doing stocks, we're doing basically where NIO is going to be headed in the next million years. NIO is an awesome stock, guys. Always remember that. But I'm actually not making a video about that. I've been getting a lot of requests, and a lot of people truly are starting to get scared. Is NIO stock going to get delisted? There has been a lot of talk about this, and I feel like I haven't covered it as much as I should. If you guys don't know, real quick, if you guys don't know what NIO stock actually is, or NIO is a company, NIO is an EV company based out of China, right? They produce luxury EV cars, pretty similar to what Tesla does. As you guys know, NIO has seen a lot of heat recently, getting a lot of attraction. EV market in itself is growing up, blowing up like crazy, stuff like that. But, it leads people to ask the question, is NIO stock going to get delisted? Should I sell my position in NIO, or should I buy more? Is NIO stock going to crash? You guys have to understand that what the United States and really what the bill was passed was basically saying that if these Chinese companies don't abide by the same financial guidelines or auditing guidelines that the United States go through, they're simply going to get delisted from the NASDAQ. Does these put these Chinese companies at risk? Yes, because a lot of them don't really go through the same auditing or financial guidelines that the United States do. You guys know the story of Luckin Coffee. I'm sure a lot of you have heard it. Basically, they were fabricating a lot of their sales because, a lot of the financials there, they're not as strictly proven as they are here. They're not strictly audited as they are here as well. So they passed the bill basically saying that, stocks like XPeng and Alibaba and NIO and all these other Chinese companies could get delisted from the NASDAQ if they don't abide by the same financial guidelines. What does this mean for NIO stock? Is this the future? Is the future of NIO stock mean that it's going to get delisted? For me, if NIO is legit, if they're growing as much as they say they are and they're really putting out legit earnings, they should abide by the same guidelines that everybody else is abiding by. There's no reason why Chinese companies should be any different than the United States company. All around the world, things should be done almost universally the same, especially when it comes to auditing, when it comes to financials and stuff like that. And to be honest, like I said, after the whole Luckin Coffee incident, a lot of people were really scared, of Chinese companies in general. Like, are all Chinese companies doing this? Are all Chinese companies fabricating their sales? For me, I don't think NIO stock is going to get delisted from the NASDAQ, but the possibility is still there just due to the simple fact that this is the simple fact for all Chinese companies. Li Auto, XPeng, and I don't want people to freak out because for me, even if NIO stock did get delisted, I'm actually perfectly okay with that. I don't really mind. I don't really care because for me, my bullish outlook on NIO will always stay the same. And nothing changes just because this company does have the chance to get delisted from the NASDAQ. There's a lot of companies that trade over the counter that do really well. I just want to put that in perspective that on over the counter, there's just generally less basically strictness when it comes to putting out financials. It's not like, the typical brokerages we see like Robinhood and, companies have to put out earnings every 4 quarters and stuff like that. On over the counter, companies aren't abided by a certain date where they have to post their specific earnings, and they don't have to go by specific guidelines when they post their earnings. So if NIO were to get delisted from the NASDAQ, I honestly still would invest in the company. I would actually buy more shares. And for me, I'm still accumulating more shares of NIO on every single dip that there is. For me, I do see the long-term value of the company, whether it gets delisted or not. But I really wanted to put some clarification on the overall issue here that, a lot of people are scared for their money, and I can completely understand. No one wants to relive a Luckin Coffee incident where they were basically buying the stock at $50 and it went all the way down to about $2 or 80 cents or whatever it ended up going down to. But I want to assure everybody that yes, there is a possibility that if NIO and XPeng, Li Auto, and all these other companies, Alibaba, don't abide by the guidelines the United States are setting for them, then they're going to get delisted from the NASDAQ. That's just as simple as it is. And if these Chinese companies want to stay listed on the New York Stock Exchange, if they really want to trade that bad on that specific exchange, they need to abide by the rules. They need to abide by the guidelines that the United States are putting out for them. I find it completely fair. It's not like this is unwarranted. Companies all over the world, guys, they've been caught fabricating their sales. I can completely understand where they're coming from. Like I said, Luckin Coffee, after that incident, a lot of people were asking for more imposed restrictions, especially when it came to Chinese companies putting out their earnings. Like I said, guys, NIO's legit. It's a top EV company. It's going to be a top EV company. Nothing changes really about my overall vision of NIO stock. I still think NIO stock is going to hit $100 2021. I still have a big vision and a big growth, but I really want to shine some light really on the situation at hand that, does NIO have the possibility of getting delisted? If they don't abide by the guidelines that the United States are putting out for them, not just NIO in itself, like I said, this is XPeng, Li Auto, Alibaba, and all these other Chinese companies, then they're going to get delisted from the NASDAQ. It's just as simple as it is. Even if it gets delisted, I'm not selling my position. It's not going to change anything for me specifically. I'm still going to hold all my positions in my Chinese companies. For me, whether it trades on the New York Stock Exchange or not, to me, it doesn't really matter. Like I said, there's a lot of great stocks that trade over the counter. There's really no difference. It's just on the New York Stock Exchange, there's just a little bit more of strict guidelines, but these Chinese companies should be legit, right? If their earnings are legit, if they're growing as much as they say they can and stuff like that, then they should be up to prove it. There should be no problem with them abiding by the United States guidelines that they want to put out. All they're asking for is just more strict auditing on their financials. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. We want legitness. We're putting our hard-earned money in these companies. It doesn't matter. It's not just Chinese companies, everybody. I'm not trying to make this just about China. This every company out there. People still hate Wells Fargo for what they did. General Electric, Waste Management, all that fraud. Like people don't forget that, right? People put a lot of hard-earned money in there. I put my hard-earned money in NIO. I put my hard-earned money in Luckin Coffee. And for me, I want legit audited financials. I mean, that for me is fair. I want to know what I'm investing in. If I took a look at NIO's financials that came out, just this past November, and turns out they were fabricated, then, I feel betrayed. I feel like, okay, like, how do I know how well the actually company is doing? How do I know they're selling this many vehicles? How do I know they're expanding this much? How do I know that their revenue is growing and their losses are shrinking and stuff like that? It's a very touchy subject, and I can understand, but we also want legitness. I don't want to invest in fraud companies, right? I don't want to invest in companies that lie, that cheat, that steal, or whatever the case, right? For me, if a company comes out and admits like, hey, like we messed up, like we committed fraud, like fine. I understand because, a lot of people out there are still invested in Luckin Coffee, as I am as well. Waste Management, General Electric, Wells Fargo. And I like I said, you can forget fraud, but we're putting our hard-earned money in. A lot of people got burned by Luckin Coffee, guys. A lot of people got burned by General Electric. Back when this happened, a lot of people got, burned by a lot of companies that committed fraud. For me, I'm putting my hard-earned money into the stock, NIO, and they end up they're fabricating their sales, and the stock goes from $50 all the way down to 50 cents, for example. People are going to be upset, and truly, it's the right thing to do. I actually like that the bill was passed. I think every company out there should be legit. They should be putting up legit earnings, and it's not like the United States is just doing this to Chinese companies alone, right? They're just asking to follow the same guidelines that we do here. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. And for me, I think NIO's legit. I know for a fact NIO's legit, right? The growth speaks for itself. For me, I'm still investing in NIO. I'm not selling any positions. I don't think they're going to get delisted, but I wanted to shine a little bit of light on the situation and really explain like what's going on, what's been going on. Why are so many people freaking out? Right, I've been getting comments all day about how NIO is going to get delisted. You should sell your position. Like I said, even if NIO did get delisted, I'm not going to sell my position. For me, I have this vision of NIO and XPeng and all these other EV companies I'm invested in. I know that they're going to be growing for a very long time. Them being on the New York Stock Exchange has absolutely zero difference in what my vision is. I invest in companies I believe are good companies that are going to be growing for a very long time, and I still feel the same way about NIO. I know NIO is going to be growing for a very long time, but I just want to shine some light on the situation. Hopefully this video was informative, and hopefully this video helped clear up really what's been going on. With that being said, guys, that's all I really have to say about the video. Let me know down in the comment section below, guys. Has this bill changed your opinion of NIO? Do you still think NIO is going to the moon? With that being said, guys, thank you. Have a great day.